Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rebel Racing Network and the Florida Academy Cup Series. I'm your commentator tonight, Austin Householder, and we are joined in booth by Bird Wraps creator and owner, Hunter Geyer. Say hello to the fans, Hunter.
How's it going, everyone? Glad to be back.
All right, and we are glad to have you back, buddy. But we are coming to you live from Daytona Superspeedway, where these drivers will compete for 100 laps tonight. The weather tonight is 79 degrees, clear skies. The track temperature sitting at a nice cool 82 degrees. And you see the drivers there lined up on pit road, showcasing their cars for us tonight. Got some donuts in the infield. That is the one car doing donuts there, and I think he's hoping that he can be the one doing them at the end of the race. A couple cars pulling out on track. But the rules for tonight's event, these drivers are going to be given 4 sets of tires and 60% fuel with no quick repairs to get this one done. So I don't think anyone's going to be too worried about tires here tonight at the Super Speedway. But that fuel mileage is going to be key tonight. Hunter, do you have any idea what the pit window is going to look like with fuel mileage for these guys?
I'm actually unsure at the moment. Actually, not too sure what their fuel load is. But fuel is going to come down to really conserving that fuel as much as possible. You could go pretty much at least half the race on your first set of tires, unless you're spinning out or doing something crazy. So, fuel is definitely going to be a factor here.
And yeah, I've got to agree. Once again, we are going to have stage racing. Still waiting for the update on the stages here tonight. But it does look like practice is getting ready to come to an end. About a minute left. We're going to have about a 10-minute qualifying session, I think, is planned. And then another 10-minute practice session for these drivers to get warmed back up. And it looks like we might have an issue here with trading paints. We're going to try and get that worked out as well. Most drivers back in their pit stalls. Look at Trevor Quisenberry in that 24 Chevrolet, now doing donuts in the center of the track. And we've already got some predictions coming into this one. Zoo8967 saying they think the 7 is going to win here tonight, and that is the 7 of Nicholas Warner, who showed some speed last season. Trying to get a look at him here. And then we do have some familiar faces coming back to the Rebel Racing Network as well. So we already know Tristan Haynes going to be on track driving that number 9 car. Tyler A. Green, you've seen him over in Era. He's our league owner putting on the show for us. And then I think I saw Seth LaCroix somewhere in the standings as well. There he is in that black and yellow number 88. So more familiar faces, and it looks like we've got a full field here. Over 30 drivers registered for this one. And Daft Punk's saying the 24 is going to win tonight.
I do have some insight on, a few of those names you mentioned. So Tristan Haynes, Seth LaCroix, as far as I'm aware, are actually just temporary drivers. So they're actually, using this race tonight to see if they're going to be running the full season. So, depending on their results, they could be top contenders, because I've raced with Seth and I raced with Tristan, and they're definitely good drivers. So we'll see what they're going to be able to accomplish tonight.
And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to set my sights my hopes too high for Seth LaCroix. After all, he has mentioned time and time on broadcast how much he dislikes super speedway racing. And he's found some luck there. But we do have a pretty stacked field here tonight. I'm going through some of the I ratings. I'm seeing I ratings 3,000, a couple 4,000 drivers in here as well. So, gonna be a lot of competition here tonight.
Absolutely. And a thing with the super speedway is almost everyone is on an even playing field, especially when you're with a thick setup. As long as you stay in the draft, you are equal with everyone else. It's all about getting the runs, making sure you're keeping up with that draft. So we could see someone with a lower I rating prevail tonight. It is absolutely absolute chaos on a super speedway. You could see a great driver like Seth LaCroix. He could be crashed out. Fifth or sixth lap. And I don't want to give him the broadcaster's curse or anything, but anything could happen on these super speedways. And of course, they're all known for the big wrecks that they can cause. So, fingers crossed that doesn't happen tonight. But of course, with the super speedway, it's almost inevitable.
And definitely going to be some big ones. And I think Seth's going to have some words with you, Hunter, after this one, after giving him the broadcaster's curse. Because if there's one thing we know on Rebel Racing Network, it's that Hunter Geyer, 9 times out of 10, going to get the broadcaster's curse.
Yeah, I definitely am victim of that quite a bit. But, so, maybe I'm dishing out some of my own medicine, I guess. But anything could happen. I gave Dawson Price a broadcaster curse. There during the preseason race at the Clash. So maybe not talk about too much with him tonight. But like I said, anything could happen. There's complete chaos, and since we're doing so many laps tonight, it's going to be a patience game. You can't try to win this race on lap one. It's going to be a lot of back and forth. Throughout the race, you're going to get runs, you're going to fall back, you're going to try to find someone to work with. It's going to be absolutely crazy, but I'm really excited to see what these drivers can do. I mentioned it last week at the Clash. A lot of these guys haven't raced with each other before, and with a super speedway, you're going to have to trust your enemy. There's going to be a lot of mixed manufacturer drafting or same manufacturer drafting with different teams, so it's going to be a lot of give and take, and you got to find your friends and wherever you can find them, as you've said many times before on broadcast.
And yes, and we do have an update here in chat. The owner of Bandit Motorsports, Dalton Gregson, is checking in. He said his guys are going to be wicked fast tonight. And it sounds like they are already planning on meeting up at some point in this race and working together here. So, and a lot of teams out here. We do have a couple of privateers, though. Dave Mayberry, who we're looking at right now. We did not see him last week. And I do believe we've seen him somewhere before on the Rebel Racing Network, but I can't quite remember where. But he is racing all by himself, a late edition. He'll be one to keep an eye on tonight to see how he fares not having any friends out here.
So I do have an insight on Dave. So he has raced in the Aero Series a bit before. So he does know some people out here. Not too sure if he has any friends or not, but he's definitely familiar with racing with everyone over in the Aero crew. So Seth LaCroix, Dawson Price, those guys. So maybe he can find some friends there.
Yeah, and Hunter, you race with the Aero crew a lot, and we see a lot of their names: Tristan Haynes, Trevor Quisenberry, who's been in Aero a little bit, Seth LaCroix. It's a pretty close-knit group. You think those guys are all going to try and link up and work together?
I definitely think so. Now, there is going to be team rivalries there, so, definitely differences teams of what you see in Aero. Seth and Dawson share a team in Aero. That's not the case tonight. But you actually see Tristan Haynes and Seth LaCroix sharing a team. So, I think those guys will definitely work together. I race with them both, especially, Tristan's a great guy to work with, and he is actually pretty decent at super speedways. I consider him a road course racer, but man, when it comes down to a drafting track, a super speedway, he definitely has some skills there. So I definitely think he's one to watch tonight.
All right, and then we do have Anthony Green entering the chat as well, cheering on TGR here as we get ready to go racing. And got some new teams in here as well. Seth LaCroix going to be running under the Jim Racing team. I believe they were a late addition after the Clash as well. As we start to get these teams worked out. And it looks like most drivers coming to an end on their qualifying run. Just a few left to qualify here. Currently looking at Matthew Wilson out on track, laying down his second lap time here. We are going to try and get Trading Paints to reload here as well. Just after qualifying, we will go to a quick commercial break and try and get that in order. Unfortunately, Trading Paints doesn't always like to update when we get into these big races with 30-plus drivers. It can be a little bit delayed there. So we'll get that up and running and worked out. Now look at Dalton Gibson on track. And Hunter, we've talked a lot about the guys that we've seen on Rebel Racing Network here before in other series. Do you have your eye on any newcomers to the network here?
Definitely had to keep an eye on Trevor Quisberry. You know, he dominated the field last week at the Clash. You know, never saw him race before. I know you mentioned he might run an era, but I personally don't remember running with him at all. So he's definitely a newcomer to me, but, you know, absolutely dominant. Now, obviously, that was a short track. This is a super speedway, so very different in terms of things. But, of course, you know, I feel like, you know, driver skill is it's gonna outmatch a lot of things almost anywhere. So definitely going to keep an eye on him.
Yep, and I'm going to keep my eye on Dylan Picklesheimer. He's sitting on the pole right now with a time of 50.22 and 2/100ths of a second faster than everyone else in the field. So he's definitely got some speed. Definitely looks like he's got some super speedway experience. Taking a look at our league owner, Tyler Green, on track now. And Trevor LT entering the chat with who, me? I don't think we said Trevor at all, did we? Oh, no, it's the who, me guy from TikTok.
Trevor Quisenberry.
Oh, yeah, Trevor Quisenberry. Hey, you got to forgive me. I am still learning all of these names. And boy, do we have a lot of them.
It's okay. We have a lot of races to learn these guys. But, you know, as long as they make a statement, I'm sure we'll be able to get them down pretty easily.
Yeah, and, you know, you see where my mind is at. You know, I'm referencing TikTok with the who, me. But, you know, Serenity, yeah, we've all seen that guy. And I tell you what, it is rage bait at its finest for iRacers. But Serenity Warner entering the chat saying the 7 is going to win, and 7, or Zoo cheering on the 7 as well. And then Israel Burgos cheering on Storm Strubby. Or Strudel, however it's spelt. Having some fun with his name. Storm actually sponsored by T-Mobile in this one.
I am going to check the name pronunciation on that because I think we did get it mixed up last week. But I know he does have it. So it is, yep, Storm Struby. That is correct. You did get it right that time. I did not think you did. I was incorrect.
And the bad part is, I'm pretty sure I actually had a conversation with him 2 weeks ago asking him how to pronounce it. Yeah, but looking at it,
that would not have been my first guess, that for sure.
Yeah, we got 32 names to learn and a long time to do it, so we are doing our best up here. And big shout out Tyler Green for putting a name pronunciation chat in here for us, and it is Struby. That is in fact correct. And Michael Hilly putting his name in the pronunciation chat as well. I don't think we had any problem with that one.
I think it was Michaela Hille or something like that. Definitely one of the strangest names out here, but no. Mike Hill, definitely a character out there. Like I mentioned a lot during the Clash last week, but a great guy. Used to be teammates with him before his work schedule changed, so I definitely miss running with him. But yeah, great guy. Hopefully he has best of luck tonight.
Yep. And They're making their way on track for the warm-up, so we are going to step aside for a quick commercial break. And we'll be right back with you as we get some things worked out here.
Do you love Orlando's theme parks, but the long lines have you losing the magic? Introducing Ride Waits, the Apple Watch app designed to help you skip the stress and ride more, with real-time wait times and park info right on your wrist. Whether you're exploring Walt Disney World, adventuring through Universal Orlando, or taking it all in at SeaWorld, Ride Waits helps you navigate smarter and get the most out of your visit. No more wandering, no more guessing, just more riding. And it's not just wait times. Ride Waits also offers tips on the best times to ride, general park info, and helpful alerts so you never miss out on your favorite attraction. Whether you're planning ahead or making game day decisions in the park, Ride Waits keeps everything you need at a quick glance away. Ride Waits, your wrist-side guide to the best parks in Orlando. Available now on the Apple Watch store.
Not affiliated with or endorsed by any theme park brand.
All right, and we are back, and we've got everything set up now. Got the information from the league owner. We're looking at our stage breaks are going to be lap 33 and 66, and we did get an update on the pit window as well. That pit window with the current fuel is going to be about 25 laps, so gonna need about 4 pit stops to get this one done, and these drivers will have to pit for fuel under green if we do get the green flag laps every stage. So that is going to be concerning to some of these drivers. They're definitely going to have to, I think we're going to see a lot of fuel saving as tonight goes on.
I definitely think so. But you can fuel save quite a bit here, especially if you get in a long line of draft. You don't have to go full throttle, so you can go to like 3/4, almost half throttle, and stay in that draft and be just as fast as the people around you. So there's definitely going to be a lot of different fuel saving strategies out there.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a lot of guys working together, and they're already getting their fuel strategies together. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. We've got about 5 minutes left in the warm-up, so we do want to go ahead and thank some of our sponsors here tonight. We're going to kick it off with our Restart Zone sponsor, and you heard him a lot last week, My World of Whiskey. It is the most comprehensive mobile app every serious bourbon collector should have on their phone, founded by a collector who started, like most other collectors, tracking his bottles in a spreadsheet. My World of Whiskey grew into the most complete tool on the market for managing a real collection, built bourbon first with deep support for rye, Scotch, Irish, Japanese, and Canadian whiskey, over 10,000 bottles in a hand-curated database that grows daily. Barcode scanning and spreadsheet upload to add bottles in seconds, full purchase tracking with dates, locations, and prices, collection analytics that give you the complete picture of your shelf. If you're serious about your bourbon, you need this app. And they are offering a promo code as well. Use promo code ERACE25 to receive a 25% discount on their website or in the App Store or Google Play Store. All right, and looks like they have cut down the warm-up to just 5 minutes. Drivers now making their way down to pit road to get in their cars. We're going to go ahead and get a look at our official starting grid as we get that pulled up screen, and I'm going to let Hunter Geyer take it away.
Need to give me just a second. I had to get mine up as well.
All right, so while Hunter pulls it up, I'm going to go ahead and run through our top 10. Starting in the pole position, a late qualifier, Al Lincoln, or Likens. I apologize, Al. Off to a strong start. To his outside, though, will be the 23 of Dylan Picklesheimer. Rolling off third will be Corey Rainey driving the number 4 machine. Christian Rhodes will start to his outside in fourth, driving the number 1. Jeremy Davis will start fifth, driving the number 3 machine. In sixth place, we have Jeremiah Nelson driving the number 46. Matthew Wilson will start seventh, driving the number 26. Eric Rodeman in eighth, driving the number 96. Tristan Haynes will roll off ninth, driving the number 9. Nicholas Warner going to be starting 10th. In the 7 machine, Alan Hess will roll off 11th, driving the number 14. In 12th, we have Corey Yoakum driving the number 5. 13th will be Dawson Price in the 71. 14th will be Daniel Holloway in the 21. Thomas Lavierde going to be rolling off 15th. In 16th will be Brian Macklin. Trevor Quisenberry going to be starting 17th. To his outside of 18th will be Dalton Gibson. James Yerger going to be rolling off 19th in the 19 machine. Joshua Riddle going to be starting 20th. Michael Princeton 21st. Tyler Hurt going to be starting 22nd tonight. Storm Strube will be rolling off 23rd, and 24th will be Dave Mayberry. And 25th will be Stephen Alessi driving the number 8 machine. Seth LaCroix going to be starting 26th tonight. Tyler A. Green will roll off 27th. And 28th, we have Fred Pennington in the 22 machine. Jason or Beskaz will start 29th. Yep, off to a strong start. Eric L'Oreal will be rolling off 30th. And 31st will be Mike Hill. And then we have 2 race controls being shown on screen. Please omit those. Rolling off 32nd will be Richard Smith II. And we do apologize if we did not get to everyone's number. That was a lot of names to say in just one lap, even here at Daytona. We're going to have our work cut out for us when we get to the mile and a half.
Absolutely. And I'm also having some technical difficulties. I apologize for not being able to get that name list there up in time, but I think I'll get better as it goes. You know, I'm still a rookie broadcaster, so you might have to give me a break.
All right. And the pace car is off. The green flag waves. We are underway. It looks like we already got a big checkup from Al Likens there. And if I'm not mistaken, we have someone start from the pits here. Matthew J. Wilson going to opt to start from the pits and try and avoid the mayhem that is sure to come here, but they are single file through turns 1 and 2. That top line getting a strong run there. Dylan Picklesheimer getting the push out of Christian Rhodes. And the 46 of Jeremiah Nelson going right along with them.
So as the same last week, I am going to be monitoring driver chat, so we will see how active these drivers are with talking to each other. And of course, with the drafting track, you know, you're going to be finding a lot of cross communication between teams and radio. So definitely interested to see who will link up throughout the race.
Yes, it is. And I'm looking at the standings right now in the packs. It looks like these top 4 cars are hungry, not thinking about any sort of fuel strategy. They are pedal to the metal through the first lap, trying to pull away. The rest of the pack, with all that energy built up, going to catch right up to them. Now the 46 of Jeremiah Nelson going to hop out of line. And just looking at the chat, that 7 of Nicholas Warner has got a pretty big fan club joining the chat. You see him there in that black and yellow Alpha Omega car on the inside line. He is up to 3rd now, trying to get a push from the 96 of Eric Rodeman in the My World of Whiskey car.
Eric Rodeman got a little bit out of shape there. And that's one thing you're going to have to keep an eye out. You know, a lot of these cars will be darting back and forth changing lanes and trying to get air, because it is really easy to overheat these cars if you're not careful. So they'll be continuously darting back and forth, trying to get clean air where they can. And of course, that can cause stack ups and that can cause issues later in the race. You're not ready for that checkup, you hit someone not so square, and next thing you know, you're spinning that person.
Yeah, and I haven't raced these Cup Series cars too much there, Hunter. I spent a lot of time in the Xfinity car, though. How does it compare with the air in the draft here, keeping that engine cool?
The next gen isn't too bad. I actually prefer the next gen over the O'Reilly Series cars. They actually are a bit more stable in the draft and can actually take a bump pretty well. As long as you hit someone square, you're not going to make anybody squirrely like you can with O'Reilly's cars. I know running in the TCR series, anytime we're on a drafting track, it is so scary, running those cars and doing a bump trap, because you can so easily, get someone out of shape. But, the next gen cars, the bumpers on these are all pretty square for the most part. So as long as you hit someone with, decent contact, you'll be just fine.
Yeah, and we've seen that, especially broadcasting era with the Cup cars, and I don't have a lot of insight from the car, but it definitely looked like they were a lot more stable than the Xfinity car. I remember Talladega last season in the officials races, it seemed like anyone who got close to that rear bumper, it was just hard to keep that car under control. It takes all the downforce off. Well, these Cup cars doing good so far. We're 5 laps in, no caution quite yet. I don't see too many drivers hopping out of line. It seems like no one getting too squirrely here early on.
Yeah, everyone's running pretty clean. It is a long race, so obviously these guys are going to be as patient as possible. Now, coming down to the final laps, you're definitely not going to see something as calm as this. But everyone doing a really great job right now.
Yes, there is. And Hunter, we do have a chat here. I want to get your insight. FLK cheering on Dawson Price, who I believe is towards the back of the pack right now, telling him to get the win that he was robbed of on Tuesday. And he said that you would know what he's talking about there, Hunter.
That is Dawson Price's brother, Connor Price. So Connor and I, running another series. We run an ARCA series together, and it was a great race between us, and honestly, Austin, I think a lot of my curse lies with you, because I think any other league that's not broadcasted by Rebel Racing Network, I do pretty decent in. And we were at Phoenix Tuesday night, and I ended up winning that race. But Connor had the dominant car throughout that race, and he actually got some of my luck. Ended up wrecking out after a crazy caution that came out. He unfortunately had to start in the back after that caution, because he dove down to the pits right before it came out. But I was in second place most of the evening, and I did not take tires, and was able to take tires during that caution when that caution came out. And he got caught up in traffic and was totally robbed of that win, because he was dominant all night. I would get to his bumper and just couldn't do anything with him. But yeah, I will take any victories where I can get them, though. So I apologize, Connor. I'll see you next week.
All right. Well, we appreciate that insight. Now 8 laps into this one, everyone's still going strong. I do want to take a look at that 20 car, Al Likens. He's dropped back here to 6th. Stuck on that high side. He was our Vermont diecast pole sitter, taking that pole award. I want to give a big shout out to Vermont Diecast for sponsoring the pole award. They will award Al Likens a $5 there. And Vermont Diecast, for those of you who don't know, they are a diecast store available on the app Whatnot. Make sure you go check them out. If you are a diecast collector or just a NASCAR fan, they have plenty of diecast to bid on Whatnot. So appreciate them chipping in to make this league possible. And Hunter, I don't know if you heard, we were talking to Tyler about the sponsorships that they had available, that had come on board. And with all the sponsorships, they have over $3,000 in purse money to hand out throughout the season. So some big money racing going on here tonight.
Absolutely, and that's the when I first heard about this league, I was like, oh my gosh, that is crazy. The sponsorship backing that these guys have, and with that sponsorship backing, they can provide a purse every race, and that is a team purse and a driver purse. So a lot of money can be earned throughout the season. So that is really cool to see. Something for a league that's just starting out. Pretty much everyone is new to racing with each other, and have that kind of backing, have that kind of support, and having a field as large as this. That is absolutely awesome. And, I'm glad I was able to provide my support now through broadcasting and the Bird Wrap sponsorship as well.
And we definitely are glad to have Bird Wraps on board as well. But we'll get into that at the end of the race for the fastest lap award. And just for you guys at home, not only is there a winner's purse paid out, every position in this race is going to pay out one way or another. Now, it's going to vary. If you're at the tail end of the field, you may only take home a couple cents, but there is a payout. And Vandy Games entering the chat talking about, or saying that it's a cool league and some clean racing going on. And Vandy, I think that a lot of that clean racing could probably be attributed to these drivers knowing that there is money on the line based on their finishing position. And
I am just listening on driver's chat. Sorry to interrupt you, Austin, but listening on driver's chat, they are catching a lap car and they are communicating well. So where that lap car will go, so not to have to worry about too much there. As long as it should be clean passing as the lap car goes around.
Yeah, and we're going to keep our eye on the leader here as they approach that lap car. And Vandy Games is saying to check out the wrap on the 9 machine of Tristan Haynes.
Yeah, I'd say that one looks pretty good. I mean, I might be a little biased there, but yeah, I'd say it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I wonder why you're saying that there, Hunter.
And the craziest thing, that wrap, so Tristan actually told me this morning that he was, going to be running tonight in this league. And I made a joke, or he actually posted in our door-to-door team chat. He's like, what paint should I run? I'm like, why is that even a question? You know what paint you should run. He's like, so can you get a paint done in less than an hour? I'm like, challenge accepted. And I actually was able to make that paint in 45 minutes.
All right, and that is a good-looking paint scheme, Hunter. It looks like that top line going strong again. Jeremiah Nelson in control of this one. Al Likens making his way back up to second now as they approach that lap car. Yeah, Hunter, now that you've gotten to see some of these guys all working together in the draft, anyone you want to keep your eye on now that we've gotten about 15 laps into this one?
I'm not too sure if you noticed, Austin, but a lot of the Toyotas are all up near the front, and I think they definitely have a strategy going. Now, before the race, I'm not too sure if they were set up, but I know there were manufacturer chats set up, so the cross-manufacturer teams can talk with one another, and, top 4 is showing all Toyota, so they definitely might be talking and you're considering strategy. So right now it's all Team Toyota.
All right, and just like a real world here. Sure, some people are getting ready to enter the chat and talk about the lawsuit with Denny Hamlin and 23XI and all that. But we promise there are no rigged races here on Rebel Racing Network.
There might be a little bias here and there, but I think we call it we can.
And we do, just some information, we are on screen at the Wicked Pub down there in Florida. Dalton Gregson saying we want to get a look at that 4 car. And I do believe that is a new Wicked Pub paint scheme this week. Looking good for the number 4. So big shout out to the Wicked Pub down there in Fort Myers, Florida. Corey Rainey having a strong showing here all the way up to 4th now. And then Low Rado saying Yoakum is being consistent and conserving. Corey Yoakum currently back here in 17th and hanging out in the back of the pack. Hunter, do you think hanging out in the back of the pack is the right move here early on in this one?
You know, it's kind of a toss-up. I personally never have luck staying out in the back because I'm usually always caught up in a wreck that happens in the middle of the pack. I personally prefer to try to stay up near the front as much as I can. Near the front, you know, just history kind of speaks for itself. You know, a lot of the guys at the front kind of race you a little bit less aggressive. But, you know, staying in the back, being conservative, that can work for a lot of people. You know, it all depends on how good their wreck avoidance is. And unfortunately, that's something I don't really possess. So, you know, anything could happen. You know, definitely a good way to conserve fuel. But yeah, you know, like I said, anything could happen.
And it's funny because our strategies are a little bit different. I normally like to stay way in the back, just barely hanging to the onto the draft at super speedways. And it looks like we've got some takers on pit road here. Tristan Haynes coming down, Seth LaCroix, Corey Yoakum, Trevor Quisenberry, and if I'm not mistaken, those are all teammates there.
I know for sure both Tristan Haynes and Seth LaCroix are teammates, so definitely some communication going on there.
Yep, and unfortunately, it looks like their strategy is going to fall apart here. Seth LaCroix being shown the black flag for speeding.
Oh, no. He must have got that from me.
And I told you, Hunter, it's the broadcaster's curse. You passed it on to him. I've been giving it to you, and you're going to pass it on to Seth LaCroix.
Man, that is so sad for Seth, man. He is such a you know, great driver. And you know, he might be okay serving that black flag. If anything, he might only go a lap down, and if something happens, you know, you should be able to get that lap back pretty fast.
Yeah, and we do see him still sitting on pit road, so he is a lap down now. See if he can get out, or maybe a caution's going to save him here. And a lot of shout-outs for the sponsors in the chat as well. We do appreciate that. Daniel Brandon saying he wants to see that number 18 car again with the pole sponsor on the hood. Just before that, though, we do want to shout out our title sponsor, that number 21 machine, the Florida Academy car. More cars coming down pit road now. Michael Prince, Tyler Green, Dalton Gibson, and Dawson Price joining them on pit road. But that Florida Academy car making its way up to the top 5. And for you guys at home, Florida Academy in Fort Myers, Florida, you will find short-term professional education programs in some of today's fastest growing fields. For over 3 decades, they have been helping students transform their dreams into reality with a focus on real-world practical learning. We prepare our students to launch careers in the beauty and wellness as well as skilled trades industries. So big shout out to Florida Academy for coming on board as a sponsor. This time by, I'm not seeing anyone coming down to pit road here 22 laps into this one.
Definitely coming on with that pit window, so I would think almost everyone is going to be pit by lap 25.
Yeah, I think we're going to start to see some of these guys coming down pit road here. We do have that stage brake caution coming up here in 12 laps, so looks like these guys are trying to get the track position for stage 2, pitting early here. And Connor Price saying Seth LaCroix doing Seth LaCroix things. I think it's more Seth LaCroix doing Hunter Geyer things, but
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. But I honestly, I would have to agree there.
I
Did
mean,
not practice enough pits, man. But again, when I practiced pits last night, I practiced pits about 4 times and ended up getting wrecked out by lap 25. So maybe that's a bad juju on itself. You never know.
and we're going to go ahead and ride along on the hood of that number 18 Tyler Hurt car. Oh, caution is out.
Oh man.
Oh, we've got mayhem. Looks like Seth LaCroix caught up in that.
Oh no.
Oh, that was a hard hit. The 18 getting sideways as well.
We do have some frustrated driver chats there. And man, that one was a hard hit by Seth LaCroix there.
That was it. We saw another hard hit out of that T-Mobile car of Storm Strube. Heavy damage there.
Looks like there's some actual ARCA braking going on there as well after the fact. Seth definitely getting hurt there. He might have to have some good amount of time in the infield care center after those hits.
Yep, and looking at the list, looks like LaCroix caught up in that. Dave Mayberry, Jason Werbesquez, Trevor Quisenberry, Joshua Riddle, and Dalton Gibson all collected there. Connor Price saying someone needs to get a helicopter ready for Seth LaCroix. And Daniel Brannon, his entire team caught up in that one.
Wow.
And we do appreciate it, Laredo. All right, so we're going to go back, take a look at it here. It looks like it. Dalton Gibson, we don't see him involved in the issue. He's kind of back in the pack. Oh, that's what it was. Dalton Gibson tried to give the 31 a push through the corner and gets him into Seth LaCroix.
Oh man, yeah, I'm watching that back now. That is one thing I failed to mention at the beginning of the race. And when talking about pushing in these cars, and it's kind of the standard anywhere on the iRacing service. When you're on a drafted track or super speedway, you want to avoid pushing in the corners because it makes the car that gets pushed so unpredictable, and something like that can happen. 31 just kind of got out of shape, and Seth was at the wrong place, wrong type sort of deal. So definitely want to avoid pushing each other in the corners.
Yeah, and that was a rough spot to push too. He did catch him in the left rear, sending him around. And fortunately, the rest of the field was coming around to catch up to him. We're going to ride along with Trevor Quisenberry. He was in that first wave of cars to catch up to the 3-car wreck. Quisenberry locked up those brakes. I think Quisenberry going to get out of this with not a whole lot of... Oh, there's the damage. Some ARCA braking. And Storm Strube going to get into him.
Being the victim of ARCA braking is never a good feeling. I can tell you that. I have been victim of that quite a bit. But again, it's just kind of one of those things. Drivers get caught up in a moment, and really easy to lock up, or just kind of lose yourself. And unfortunately, you're going to hit another car when you do that.
Yeah, it's so tough, especially getting these cars slowed down in super speedways, and I'm not sure they had any clue that was going on in front of them. The leaders not expecting an issue to happen just in front of them. But that's going to shake up the standings here. Tyler A. Green going to go to that front runner position. Laredo saying they made the best of it, though. BMS comes out clean out of this one. And they are doubled up. Couple takers on pit road here, lap 24. It looks like the rest of the field did come down and get their cars serviced while we were looking at the replay. Jeremiah Nelson, the first car of the ones that just came down pit road as we were doubled up getting ready to go back green. And Dawson Price also moving to the front row there. He's going to restart to the outside, and I think we're going to see Dawson Price jumping out to the lead with all that energy that is built up on that high line here tonight. All right, and Connor Price saying he thinks some of the drivers may have removed their brakes. I think that's an illegal car modification here. So we'll see what they say when they hit the tech pad. But looking back, looks like only 3 cars currently out of this one right now after those incidents, but definitely some heavily damaged cars as that pace car dives down pit road, and we are back racing here on lap 26. 8 to go in stage 1. Definitely got going. They do have the advantage of controlling the restart once Tyler Green hits that restart zone, but Dawson Price now getting the push out of Corey Yoakum in that 5 machine. And they did say Corey Yoakum was hanging back and conserving. And it looks like that paid off. Yoakum looking to get some stage points out of this one.
I am very surprised a lot of these guys diving down that bottom lane, because that top lane gets really good runs, especially coming out of the corner. So it's kind of surprising to me that those that are not staying up there.
And that top lane does get good runs, Hunter, but that bottom lane, especially if we get an incident in the backstretch, that bottom lane, there is a lot more room for some avoidance maneuvers if that caution or that wreck happens in front of you. So probably a little bit safer down there this early into this one. I can't tell you how many times I've been stuck on that top line and the wreck happens either right beside me or right in front of me, and I have nowhere to go but the wall.
I think that explains my entire story in any super speedway, man. It doesn't matter what lane I'm in. If I'm in the bottom lane, it's going to come from the top. So it's very tough to say, what's safest out there.
Yes, it is. And that 96 of Eric Rodeman moving down to the bottom lane trying to get a run here. And looking back in the pack,
so one thing I am seeing, and I'm using this new software to kind of tell, but it looks like Dawson Price, Tyler Green, Tristan Haynes, they did not take any pit stops yet, so they might be running out of fuel.
And looking for an update here. So, yeah, you might be getting used to that new software. Dawson Price being shown on pit road, lap 20. Looks like just 2 tires and a splash of gas for him to make it to the end.
Technical difficulties on my part, then.
It's okay. We're learning here. And we did get a request to go ahead and look at the 18 car and that Vermont die-cast paint scheme. Want to give them a big shout out. Looks like I don't see any damage to that 18 machine of Tyler Hurt. But it looks like that crash has got him a little bit nervous. He's hanging back in the pack with Nicholas Warner and Christian Rhodes. And Connor Price saying Dawson is definitely a pusher here. Andy Georges has got $5,000 on the 45. I would like to know where you place that bet.
Man, I might throw in a couple bucks.
I do love my FanDuel. Shout them out, trying to get a sponsor too. So do love my FanDuel, especially on NFL Sundays, and been hitting the NASCAR bets. If we could get listed on FanDuel, that'd be pretty big for the network and the league as well.
Do you see some 3 wide action going on? Oh man, trouble!
Oh, there's the trouble. I think they're going to think twice about that 3 wide action, but everyone got to keep it straight here.
Yeah, no caution because of that, man. 3 wide is very dangerous, and you can see exactly why there.
Yep. And Dalton Gregson saying we're going to get a stage win for Rainey. Means around at the bar, Corey Rainey currently the leader. So we're going to make sure we don't miss this. Corey Rainey on the top side. He's going to have the momentum.
Bottom line, getting some good run there, though.
It is. They've got more cars. They're going to get some energy built up here. We're going to see what they can do. Corey Rainey overextending a little bit. So it's all Corey Rainey as they come down the backstretch, down to 1 to go in the stage. And we're going to give Enchanted Oaks RV Park a shout out for the stage white flag as Corey Rainey has taken it. He's racing to the line, but here comes Brian Macklin on the outside line. Corey Rainey stuck in the middle. Rainey going to get shuffled back to 5th. Brian Macklin going to win stage 1 here. Looks like Dylan Picklesheimer coming in 2nd. Yellow flag's going to fly, and we're going to see how it stacks up. But as of right now, Brian Macklin getting the stage 1 win. Dylan Picklesheimer in 2nd. Corey Rainey in 3rd. Tyler Green in 4th. And Daniel Holloway rounding out your top 5 here. So we do apologize to everyone at the bar tonight. Unfortunately, no round yet. And as they come around to the pace car, we are going to try and get an interview with Corey Rainey. But before we do that, we are going to step aside for a quick commercial break.
Every race car starts the same. Just a shell, waiting for identity. Because every car can race, but not every car gets remembered. Custom. Bold. Built to stand out. Bird wraps. Don't just race, be remembered.
All right, and we are back, folks. Pit road will be open this time by Brian Mack. Going to lead the field down pit road. Looks like everyone's going to be takers trying to get some fuel in those cars. And once they exit pit road, we are going to be live with Corey Rainey. And James Price cheering on Dawson Price. Dawson took home 7th. And then Zoo 8, 9, 6, 7 cheering on the 7. And Vandy Games talking about the commercial break. And Hunter, just so you're aware, that was your commercial we just aired.
Yeah, I was checking in, man. Do like that commercial. I think it shows off the work pretty well.
And you do excellent work. Definitely get a lot of features here on the Rebel Racing Network as well. As Brian Macklin going to lead them off of pit road. Dylan Picklesheimer going to restart second. Tyler Green in third. Tristan Haynes will restart fourth. Daniel Holloway in fifth. And a lot of two-tire stops here early on in this one. Corey Rainey, the first car to take 4 tires. Not sure how that strategy is going to work out for him, but it may work out later on in this one. And it looks like he's caught the pack, so we're going to get him up here in the booth. And Corey, it's Austin Hunter up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. That was a solid finish to the end of stage 1. But you do so owe some people at the Wicked Pub an explanation. They were counting on you to win the stage, and they were going to get around.
What? I'm just now finding this information out.
It's okay. we just found this out as well. So let down a couple people. What happened there on the last lap? We saw you leading. You had the top line and all the momentum, and you chose the bottom line. What was going through your mind there?
Man, these tires out front getting pushed, these tires were super loose. I was super loose out there, man. And I was just trying to control the air behind me. I knew there were teammates. They were swarming behind me, and my teammates kind of got split up from me. So I was just trying to control the air, and I came down. He followed me down, and I was getting ready to go back up, and he had already shot back up, and I didn't want to chop his nose off. So at that point, I just had to accept defeat. But if that deal is still up, man, I'll definitely give him my best this time.
All right, so we did not mean to put any more pressure on you, but you guys are getting doubled up and get ready to go back racing. We'll send you back down to your team. Good luck the rest of the race.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, no problem. All right, and Corey Rainey, a member of the Bandit Motorsports team. And we know we've got a bar full of fans cheering him on tonight. And guys at the Wicked Pub, we're going to go ahead and, you guys are showing us a lot of love. We're going to need a logo to put on the broadcast from you guys at some point. Make sure you get that Tyler Green, please. All right, so they are doubled up. Brian Macklin going to be leading the pack to the green flag. Dylan Picklesheimer in second. Tyler Green in third. Tristan Haynes in fourth. Daniel Holloway will restart fifth. Jeremy Davis in sixth. Dawson Price going to restart seventh. Corey Yoakum in eighth. Richard Smith will restart ninth. And Corey Rainey rounding out your top 10.
Before we get to the World of Whiskey restart zone, I will point out, both lanes locked down by Toyotas right now, so maybe they're going to use that to their advantage.
All right, that pace car is off. Is Brian Macklin going to pull round to the My World of Whiskey restart zone? The green flag waves. We are back underway.
Very good jump of that bottom line. Oh, number 23 dives down to that bottom line, so it might actually have some more momentum this time around.
Yeah, interesting move. Now we got the 23 of Dylan Picklesheimer hopping out of line. He's going to look for that 9 car of Tristan Haynes to get to his back bumper, and then thinks better of it right back to the bottom for Picklesheimer.
Everyone giving each other a lot of room down there, able to fluctuate between lanes pretty easily. Not really fighting over position.
I tell you what, I know these guys want to get those stage points, but with money on the line, with the winner's purse being what it is, not sure what the exact number is, but we know it does pay out pretty good. I think everyone's thinking about racing to the end here.
Oh man, Tristan Haynes gets caught up on that outside, tried to take it 3 wide. Luckily, he does squeeze back down, gets in that top line.
He does, and I just want to point out Corey Rainey making some moves here early on, up to 6th. Trying to work that top line. And Vandy Gaines cheering on the 77. He's going to call it now for Tyler Green. Green sitting there in fourth for the time being. I think we are seeing a lot more single file racing up front. These guys up front being careful, wanting to protect that position.
Everyone kind of getting space out here. That bottom line just, you know, keeping up. There they go. Their number 7 kind of moves to the outside, splits it up. Second line starting to form back up front.
Yep, then, you know, going back to that top line, that Florida Academy car, the 21 of Daniel Holloway leading the bottom line. See if they can gain some ground here. They make their way down the backstretch. And it's a 3-wide race in the 11 car. Going to take it 3 wide.
Oh, trouble. Oh, no.
And it looks like it was Al Likens caught up in this. Al Likens off track. He was our Vermont Diecast Pole Award winner tonight. He's down there in the infield. Don't see any damage on that car. He might be all right.
I think it was the number 4 car caught up in this one. Corey Rainey, that's who I saw spinning.
All right, I do believe I do see some right front damage on that 4 of Corey Rainey. We're going to go back, take a look here. If I'm not mistaken, him and Al Likens were all the way down there at the bottom. Looked like they were trying to get onto pit road.
Yeah, wow. It's kind of, I'm not too sure what happened there. The number 20 just kind of came down a lane. Number 4 was there. They just kept on banging. Wow.
Yep, we're going to back it up here and take a look.
I'm going to take another look on this one myself. It's a very interesting event there.
I tell you what, that looks like something broke on Al Likens' car. Corey Rainey taking a hard lick.
So race control is concurring. The fault is with the number 20, but no explanation from what we can tell. Not too sure. I mean, there was a bit of netcode contact there as well. And a lot of, definitely an interesting thing going on. Not too sure if it was like a wheel disconnect or something, but
yeah, we're
interesting.
Taking a look at it from Corey Rainey's point of view.
Rainey just nowhere to go.
I tell you what, looking at it, that definitely looks like a wheel disconnect, though. There was 3 hard hits to Corey Rainey from Al Likens. So we've got about half or most of the field going to be takers on pit road. Jeremy Davis, Matthew Wilson, and Mike Hill, the only 3 to stay out. And Daniel Brannon, unhappy. CZR was coming up high. And then Israel Burgos, not happy with Storm Strube. He said he put his money, his wife, and his dog on this race. We are sorry to hear that, Israel.
That's a tough one.
I tell you what, we're going to have to figure out how to take bets here on the Rebel Racing Network next. So as they make their way around under caution, we're going to go ahead and step aside for another quick commercial break.
At FedUps, we don't care how it gets there, just that it eventually does. We use cutting-edge technology like guesswork, blind rage, and the occasional coin flip. Need help? Our customer service is standing by to put you on hold. Our drivers are trained professionals in rage quitting, road rage, and minor parkour. Have an issue? Hey, we delivered it, didn't we? At Fed Up, we're not happy until you're not happy. Special instructions? I ignored it specifically. Signature required? We'll scribble something. Fragile? Let's test that theory. Customer service? Try screaming into the void. Fed Up, we hate your package almost as much as you do.
FedUps is not responsible for damaged, late, lost, or completely incinerated packages. Batteries not included. Actually, nothing's included.
All right, and we are back, folks. They're doubled up, getting ready to go back racing. We're going to go ahead and get a quick interview with Al Likens. Al, it's Austin and Hunter up in the booth. You got us?
I got you.
All right, man. We were rewatching that one. You're trying to speculate what happened. Definitely looked like you came down there, but the multiple hits to Corey Rainey, it looked like a wheel disconnect or maybe a server issue. What was going on?
Yeah, next thing I know, I was into the other car. I think I did have some kind of internet connection or some kind of something can definitely cause that, not on my end, on the computer end.
All right, that's unfortunate to hear. How's the car driving after that hit?
It's actually driving pretty good. I've got a hot rod, just that caution kind of put me to the rear because we was almost to a green flag stop. But if we can get through traffic, I think we can get back to the front.
All right, well, we are glad to hear that that car is still drivable and still competitive. You know, we know you've taken the Vermont Diecast Pole Award, that $5 award, but I'm willing to bet that you're hungry for something bigger than that, right?
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely like to have the win here at Daytona. That's the goal.
All right, well, you guys are doubled up. We're going to send you back down to your team. Good luck the rest of the night.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, once again, that was Al Likens here. So definitely sounds like an internet issue. Didn't sound like a wheel disconnect issue. And when we go back green, it'll be Jeremy Davis leading them to the My World of Whiskey restart zone. Green flag is back out. Jeremy Davis taking off, and I think he might have made a mistake. Mike Hill not on the same page. Jeremy Davis overextending.
Crazy jump there.
That was, and Matthew Wilson in that 11 car, he was the one that we saw taking it 3 wide. He'll be shown on your scoreboard as the 26. Running all the way up by the wall, and it looks like he started up front, but dropping towards the back here. No help in that third line. Now Mike Hill going to get up to that rear bumper of Jeremy Davis, but Picklesheimer coming hard on the outside line. Being pushed by Tyler Green, and I believe that's Dawson Price back there. So that top line getting the momentum here. Here comes Tyler Green to the lead now.
I do have to, shout out Mike Hill there. Up a lot of positions. Starting in the back of this race, up 26 positions it's showing. So great moves from the number 27. Get a good position here.
Yes, it is. And Connor Price is excited to see Mikey Hill back on track. Sounds like Connor misses Mike Hill over there in Era. We definitely miss him here at the Rebel Racing Network. Glad to have him back being part of the show. So Tyler Green working that bottom line. He's out to the lead, and that top line taking a minute to get reestablished here.
We got some 3 wide action there in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, we do. It's the, I want to say that's the 23, but not the actual 23 on the scoreboard. Still a couple issues with the numbers here. We try and get things worked out, and a lot of 3 wide action only halfway through stage 2. It looks like they are going to get it sorted out for the time being. And an update on Corey Rainey, we did see that right front damage to that 4 machine, but he is back in this one, up to 14th. He's going to be able to continue on, trying to find the right line to be in.
Bottom line extending past the top line quite a bit there, but that top line will get a run throughout the laps here. As long as these guys work together, you know, both lines should be pretty even in a couple laps.
Yeah, and we do have an update that turn 4 is starting to get a little bit loose. Connor Price noticing it. We noticed it up here in the booth as well. It does appear that track temperature is cooling off a little bit. A look at the weather here. Temperature's dropped about 2 degrees, and the track temperature going to drop with it here. So maybe getting a little bit slick out there. Now 17 laps into stage 2. We've just passed the halfway mark. Oh, trouble.
Oh, trouble.
Tristan Haynes out of line, and I'm trying to see who was back there in the pack that also got out of line. I do believe that was Daniel Holloway in the Florida Academy car. Way out of line on the backstretch, able to keep it straight. But he's going to lose the draft. So now he's just got to hang on. Have about 15 laps to try and stay on the lead lap. So they are approaching the damaged car. I do believe that's Seth LaCroix down there.
Yeah, going back to look at that first one, it looks like there's some contact between Haynes and the number 21 car.
Yep, and they are making their way around Trevor Quisenberry in that 24 machine now. Quisenberry heavily damaged to that front end.
Yellow flag, big one behind them. Oh my.
Big one, caution going to come out. Multiple cars caught up in this one, it looks like. Looks like Richard Smith, Jeremiah Nelson, Mike Hill, Dave Mayberry, and Matt Wilson all caught up in this, as well as countless others.
Wow, that was a big one.
We'll go back, take a look at it from Richard Smith's point of view.
So from my point of view, it looks like it was the initial contact between number 5 and number 27 of Mike Hill. Mike kind of got out of line there, and number 5 really had nowhere to go.
Yeah, another look there, and looks like Mike Hill was leading that top line.
Hill kind of came down, tried to join that bottom line, and unfortunately, there was not clear there.
Yeah, I think he thought that 3 was going to go high, the 3 of Jeremy Davis. He was planning on going with him, and Davis didn't go high, and he'll try to stay right behind him. Unfortunately, that's going to bring out yet another caution. And James Price says it is hard to beat two teammates that are going to stay committed. Shouting out DEI with Junior and Michael. And James, if you're dating yourself with that, making me feel old because I know exactly what you're referencing. So pit stop's underway here. Top 11 going to stay out. Christian Rhodes coming down pit road with the rest of the field trying to get some fuel in those cars as we're under our full earth caution of the evening. And Heather Bartell entering the chat cheering for Storm Strube. Eric Rodman in that My World of Whiskey car being shown the black flag now, speeding on pit road. As they get reset, we'll step aside for a quick commercial break.
It's race day on iRacing. The grid is set. Engines are rumbling. The chat is buzzing. The anticipation is building. But before the green flag waves, you need a moment that gets hearts racing. Hoorah Flyovers delivers cinematic, custom airplane flyovers for your iRacing or esports event, bringing real-world energy to your virtual track. Add a patriotic punch to your pre-race show, whether you're hosting a league championship, a memorial race, or just want to hype the crowd. Hoorah brings the thunder. Fully customizable, easy to book, stream ready, guaranteed to get your drivers and fans fired up. Because when the jets fly, everyone pays attention. Stand tall, fly loud, race proud. Hoorah! Visit Hoorah Flyovers on Discord or Facebook and bring the flyover experience to iRacing like never before.
All right, and we are back, folks. They're getting ready to go back green. Tyler Green will be in the lead position for this restart. Dawson Price to his outside. Dylan Picklesheimer in third. Thomas Lavierde in fourth. Corey Rainey back up to fifth. Jason Orbescaz in sixth. Al Likens in seventh. Tristan Haynes will restart eighth. Nicholas Warner in ninth. And Eric L'Oreal will round out your top 10. See L'Oreal in the Sonic the Hedgehog car. We do have an update. Storm Strube is back out on track in that T-Mobile machine. And it looks like he's got a lot of that damage taken care of. But unfortunately, 5 laps down, and it looks like he's going to not be able to compete for the win here tonight. So they make their way down the backstretch. And Trevor Quisenberry is saying Storm has run into him twice and you can count them out. And James, I did start to say wall trip there at some point, I'm pretty sure. All right, and they are doubled up, getting ready to go back green. That pace car is going to dive off. Tyler A. Green leading them to the My World of Whiskey restart zone. Once again, My World of Whiskey. Use promo code RACE25 to receive a 25% discount on their website or app in the Google Play Store and App Store. And the green flag is out. We are back underway. 11 to go in stage 2. And all of you watching at the Wicked Pub, don't look now, but here comes Corey Rainey back into the top 5.
Absolutely, and I'm actually showing he has the fastest lap of the race, so he has that 20% discount coming towards him if he can keep that lap up.
And what's that 20% discount for, Hunter?
That is 20% off at birdwraps.com, so you can get an awesome Wicked Pub wrap made by Bird Wraps if you'd want one.
All right, it sounds like Wicked Pub might need to go ahead and get some logos sent over to you, buddy.
You know, it's a long race. Very easy to get a fast lap in this draft, so we'll see if you can hold on to it.
All right, and Connor Price saying keep an eye on that top line. The two top dogs, Rainey and Price. James Price wanting to know who our picks are tonight. Hunter, after about halfway through this one, who's your pick going to be?
I don't know. You know, it's quite a toss-up here. I do have to shout out Dawson Price. I don't want to jinx him or anything, but, man, he's running an awesome race, very consistent, staying, you know, in that top 5, you know, these last couple laps here. So as long as he keeps it up, he has a good chance.
He does have a good chance, and I'm going to talk with our other top dog, Dylan Picklesheimer. He has been up front all race long. Very competitive, and he is right where he wants to be, and definitely got a bunch of laps led, 15 out of the 58.
One thing about Picklesheimer I will say is he has some really good lane defense. It seems like he just knows when one line gets a run over the other and is able to kind of flip back and forth and hold each line up.
Yes, he is. Corey Rainey getting squirrely there. We got 3 wide racing back in the pack. Ooh. And Hunter, not sure what you caught from your camera angle, but we couldn't tell if Corey Rainey caught the wall or not.
I'll go back and look at that real quick, but he might be wanting to wear his brown pants after that one.
Oh, man, he's got a fast car. Getting up to that top line. We're now 3 wide. Rainey going to lead that top line. Dawson Price moving up to the top as well.
So going back to look at that, it looks like the number 54 behind him gave him some contact coming out of the corner. Definitely got him late.
Oh, we got trouble.
Oh, no. Oh.
2 incidents there. Tristan Haynes, Christian Rhodes, Daniel Holloway, and Mike Hill involved. Eric L'Oreal, as well as Corey Yoakum, Jeremy Davis, Brian Macklin going to get caught up in this. Corey Rainey getting hit in the rear end. Sent up into the wall.
A lot of damage to that number 4 car.
And Struby, I think I've still been saying Struby's name wrong. Heather corrected me in chat. But we're going to go back, take a look, and see what happened here. Trying to get a good angle. We'll take a look at Eric L'Oreal. And just tight 3 wide racing. Looks like a bunch of checkups though.
Trying to get a good look at that one. It looks like a lot of pushing in the corner caused a lot of the carnage there, it looks like. And you know, one thing I mentioned earlier in the race, you know, that is very difficult to do, especially when someone's not prepared for it. Man, it just causes chaos.
Yeah, it definitely caused some chaos there, and I think it really started up front with the leaders. You saw Dawson Price hop up to the top side of the track, trying to get a run on Dylan Picklesheimer, and I think it just both those cars getting slowed down, losing the effects of the draft, and really just created an accordion effect, checking up both the top and bottom lines, and you know, those guys mid-pack unaware of what's going on, nowhere to go. And Daniel Brannon's saying his guys cannot catch a break tonight. We do have a lot of damaged cars. 11 cars stay out on track here. From 12th on back, they are on pit road. Matthew Wilson looks like his night is done, as well as Storm Struby. And out of this one.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
Looks
a
like
lot happening there after that one.
Yeah. And it looks like there's going to be some thirsty people at the Wicked Pub tonight. Unfortunately, Corey Rainey being towed back to the pits.
But going back to look at that more, just my personal analysis. So it's actually kind of two different starting incidents there. Looks like some contact between the 7 and Nicholas Warner is actually the initial contact, it looks like. Nicholas Warner and... Sorry about that. Eric Lorley? Sorry, number 41 car. So that was happening in the bottom lane before the initial contact between the number 30 and number 4. So a lot of stuff happening there. Kind of blocked up the entire track.
Yeah, and unfortunately it could happen just that fast, but that is definitely the big one everyone's going to be worried about. Laredo saying no, not the name trolling again in the chat. Hunter, you missed that one. There were definitely some guys in the chat during the recruitment race trolling me on the name pronunciations for these guys.
You know, as an amateur broadcaster, you know, I can tell you that is very difficult, especially to keep notes of all these drivers. And I know I'm struggling with it, so might have to give us somewhat of a leeway here as the season goes on.
Yep, and I do see now, I think I've been pronouncing a couple other names wrong, trying to keep track of everything. Jason, we're Best Kiss. Been pronouncing that wrong, so I do apologize, Jason. And Hunter, I don't know if we could say we're amateur broadcasters at this point. I could have used that line maybe about a year ago, but yeah, I feel like I've hit the big time here.
I don't know if you can use it, but I can use it. This is only my second time up here in the booth, so, you know, or at least as a broadcaster. I've only been as a driver a couple times as well, but I don't know. Maybe they should expect a little bit more out of you than me.
I tell you what, you know, with all the big name sponsors this league has brought to the table here, especially, you know, Texas Roadhouse, which we do appreciate them coming on board. First time mentioned them tonight. But Texas Roadhouse putting up some free appetizers for some of our race winners and coming on board as a sponsor. I don't think I can say amateur broadcaster anymore. But they are doubled up. The lights on the pace car are out. Dylan Picklesheimer will lead us to the My World of Whiskey restart zone. And the green,
did a great jump.
Yes, he did. The green flag's back out. Tony joining the chat. And Heather Bartell, Storm Strube is Heather letting us know that Storm Strube is her son. As I struggle with these names. I tell you what, it's getting worse as everyone tries to correct me, so I do apologize, guys. And try to talk a mile a minute just as fast as these cars are running on track. I am tripping over my own tongue, so I do apologize. But down to four to go in stage 2. Dawson Price, our leader. Tyler Hurd. Have not talked about him, trying to figure out where he came from, but he's leading that bottom line in that Vermont diecast car. Dawson going to move down in front of him now.
Dawson trying to get that stage victory. Pretty good lane control. We'll see what these guys do. See if they can keep it clean coming to the end of the stage.
Yeah, I tell you what, with 3 to go, I don't know if I want to be in Dawson's shoes right now. And here comes Al Likens, winner of the Vermont Diecast Car Award, We were worried about him with some
contact.
Dawson Price out of line here. He's going to have to find his way back up. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it.
Tyler Green giving him some room to get back in line, but there was some contact out of the corner. Got Dawson really loose. More contact.
Yep. Oh, 3 wide racing back in the pack. Daniel Holloway out there all the way to the outside of Dylan Picklesheimer. They're going to work it out 2 wide now. But Al Likens being pushed by Christian Rhodes back to the front. Mike Hill back up front as well. Here comes that 46 of Jeremiah Nelson now looking to get a run on the inside line.
Contact.
Oh, that was the 18 of Tyler Hurt. Oh, big one behind him. I think that all kicked off with Tyler Hurt there. Saw him way out of line. And that is going to bring an end to stage 2 here. Al Lincoln's going to get the stage win.
We did just interview him there a couple of cautions ago. So he did say he had a lot of speed here tonight. So it looks like he's showing that off with that stage win.
Yes, he did. And it looks like it actually kicked off with the 45 here. We're trying to figure out who that actually was. We are seeing Storm Strube is listed as the 45 car on the scoring chart, so some of these numbers not up to date. But that's going to bring...
It looks like... I apologize. Just looking to review this, it looks like the lead pack was actually caught up to a lap car, that number 45, and that will cause that whole incident.
Unfortunate for those guys. I think we're going to start to see more lap cars become factors here as drivers try and get those cars repaired, get back out on track, and try and salvage what points and what winnings they can out of this one. So now Al Likens going to bring them down pit road. Mike Hill, Dawson Price going to stay out here. Brian Macklin, Tyler Green staying out. Thomas Lavierde, Dave Mayberry, and Jeremy Davis all going to stay out under caution. The rest of the field down pit road now. And we do have Seth LaCroix in the chat saying he did not have fun tonight. We know how much Seth LaCroix does not care for these super speedways.
Unfortunately, Seth, I think I might have gave you a little bit of broadcaster's curse there tonight. I don't know. Tough luck all around.
And I just like to point out that it is Hunter Geyer handing out the broadcaster's curse tonight. My last interview actually won that stage, so see what he can do as he comes to the end of this one. He'll be restarting 10th here. But when they take
that in mind.
When they take the green, Mike Hill will be our leader. Dawson Price in second. Brian Macklin will restart third. Tyler Green in fourth. Thomas Lavierde in fifth. Dave Mayberry will restart sixth. Jeremy Davis is going to restart seventh. Jeremiah Nelson in eighth. Christian Rhodes in ninth. And Al Likens rounding out your top 10. And Connor Price saying, what was the 45 doing there on the bottom as a lap car?
You're not too sure there. So paint scheme was showing number 45, but it was actually, I think, the number 63 car on scoring. If I'm correct about that one.
Yeah, Jason Werbeskis as we were trying to get that updated. I got him now. We'll go back, take a look at that incident one more time. We'll back it up to see what exactly happened here. And he was heavily damaged already. And I think he was gonna try and go down to the apron to stay out of these guys' way, or maybe enter pit road, and just made that decision too late.
Yeah, definitely late on the decision to try to get out of the way. I think definitely good intentions there. I really don't think he did that on purpose, but he, man, he really caused a big stack up there. Unfortunate to see. Definitely recommended, at least in my point of view, to stay high as much as possible, and usually easier for the field to go by, but man, that's a rough one.
Well, I tell you what, you know, it is normally better to stay high as a lap car, but we're coming down to, I believe it was 2 to go in the stage. We've seen some 3-wide racing here in stage 2. Going high could be just as dangerous when everyone's trying to push it to try and get the stage points here. So, and as they make their way around the track, we're going to step aside for another quick commercial break.
At FedUps, we don't care how it gets there, just that it eventually does. We use cutting-edge technology like guesswork, blind rage, and the occasional coin flip. Need help? Our customer service is standing by to put you on hold. Our drivers are trained professionals in rage quitting, road rage, and minor parkour. Have an issue? Hey, we delivered it, didn't we? At FedUp, we're not happy until you're not happy. Special instructions? I ignored it specifically. Signature required? We'll scribble something. Fragile? Let's test that theory. Customer service? Try screaming into the void. FedUp, we hate your package almost as much as you do.
FedUps is not responsible for damaged, late, lost, or completely incinerated packages. Batteries not included. Actually, nothing's included.
All right, and we are back, folks, getting ready to go back green. We've just gotten word from Viscera. The lights on the pace car are out. It will be 1 to go. So it'll be Mike Hill leading them to the My World of Whiskey restart zone. So we saw Mike causing one of the earlier cautions, but he's going to recover, keeping that car in good shape, and he's going to have the advantage going into stage 3. As we get ready to get stage 3 underway, I'm going to keep my eye on that 23 of Dylan Picklesheimer. He's been up front all night long, it seems like. And he's going to restart here in the top 6 on the top line. So he's going to have the advantage of all that momentum that top line builds up. We do have some fans finding us on Facebook now as well. Blake Roper cheering for Yoakum on Facebook, and Stephanie Hill cheering for Mike Hill in that 27 machine. And that pace car is off, and they enter the My World of Whiskey restart zone. Green flag is back out. We are back underway.
Great jump by Mike Hill there on the bottom line.
Yep, great jump by him. Stage 3 underway, 31 to go in the stage. One more pit stop to get this one done for these guys. And Laredo saying Yoakum just called, said he's doing this one for Barb Goblis.
That is God bless. I'm not too sure if you are familiar with that meme around social media.
I tell you what, I am not.
That is my kind of people in the comments there. Got some gobbles going on in the comments.
And once this race is over, I'm going to need you to send me that meme there, Hunter, so I can be clued in here.
Oh, man,
Feel like
there's
that.
a whole Facebook page dedicated to it, man.
All right. I guess feel like the broadcaster's getting trolled again.
Starting to know.
But looking
Mike
back
Hill
up to...
kind of left out to dry there, man. Top line formed up, but the bottom line did not.
Yes, they did. And a big shout out to you guys at home watching. We've got 50 live viewers currently across YouTube and Facebook. And I think we're setting a record for the Rebel Racing Network tonight, so we do appreciate that. Got to shout you guys out. So we're now down to 29 to go in this one. Only 4 more laps, and that pit window is going to be open for these guys. And Hunter, what do you think the pit strategy is going to be for these guys? We know, we've seen a lot of cautions here going throughout this one. Are you going to wait for a caution? Or are you maybe going to try and pit early, thinking we might not get the caution here coming to the end?
You know, that would be a kind of game time decision. I think it would be a good idea to be within that pit window. Maybe give it a lap or two just so you make sure you do have enough fuel. Just in case there are cautions, and you can have enough fuel to stay out there on those cautions. They are large caution laps. But yeah, as soon as that pit window opens, you can kind of come down at any time. Now it might hurt you in the long run if there are no cautions, but with the amount of cautions we've had tonight, it's very possible it might set you up in a great position.
And I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. It could be interesting, Super Speedway like Daytona, you only risk falling 1 lap down, and if everyone else in front of you is going to have to pit still, you're going to get the wave around. So at least be back on that lead lap to try and battle it out. If you're stuck in the back, it might not be such a bad idea to find a few drivers to come down pit road with you, but you're still clued into the comms here, Hunter. What are they saying?
So comms have been kind of calm since the last restart. Not too much communication going on now. That is just driver comms. I'm sure in their team chats, these guys are really chatty, making sure everyone's on the same page. But yeah, overall driver comms very quiet, very calm. Hopefully everyone's kind of focused up and ready to end this race. Almost 27 laps to go here. Coming down to the end of it. Really fast.
Yep, and looking back at the pack, we do see a few drivers. Oh, and speaking of it, Trevor Quisenberry now coming down pit road. He is still on the lead lap, but heavily damaged there in the 23rd. Well, we've got 2 packs developing here. Some damaged cars in the back. And I have lost track of what is going on in the chat right now, but I think I'm being clipped. I think I'm about to become a meme here, Hunter. Going back to the front of this one, Jeremiah Nelson now leading. Al Likens here in second. Dave Mayberry in third. Now down to 25 to go, and that pit window is officially open. We're going to go back, take a look here. That back pack out there all by themselves. We do see some damaged cars in there. We know those guys were caught up in a few of the incidents throughout the night. So it'll be interesting to see what they try and do to get back into this one. It looks like everyone behaving themselves. No one trying to get too squirrely and push the issue here. A lot of these drivers just thinking about being around at the end, I think. And we have seen some long green flag runs, Hunter. What do you think the chances are of us going getting some green flag pit stops here?
I mean, it is very possible, but I'm thinking the strategy here is these guys are kind of stretch it out as much as they can. I think a lot of them are hoping for a late race caution.
All right, and I am currently trying to look up to see what kind of meme I'm about to become here. Oh, the sponsors are going to love that one.
I won't copy the comments, but the urge to do so is very strong. Unfortunately, Connor, I don't see any Harley Davidson sponsored cars out here, so I don't know which person you're talking about.
And I've just been informed that I'm going to have to go to the Viscera hauler after that.
Try to keep it at least PG-13 up here in the broadcast booth.
And in the chat as well. Guys, yeah, keep a PG-13 in the chat, guys. I still do have that mute button. Looking at you there, Connor.
I think he's just talking about good old Harley Davidson's there, Austin.
Back out on track, Dave Mayberry now leading, but they are approaching lap traffic. I'm not mistaken, that is the 7 of Nicholas Warner. He's going to go high, stay out of these guys' way. We do see the 8 of Stephen Alessa. He was going high. He's trying to make a run, pushing the 54 of Thomas Lavierde up to the front. Some new faces up front. Is Thomas Lavierde going to make a run for the lead? Lavierde going to lead a lap.
A lot of lead swapping here. Guys trying to hold their position as much as possible, but you know, lots of changes.
And now's about
looking back, you know, Dylan Picklesheimer, you know, Austin, he was your pick, but he's fallen back, you know, kind of struggling here late in the race.
He is, and we're seeing those new faces coming up to the front here, and wondering if they're thinking about that pit strategy here.
Absolutely. One thing, you know, I will point out, and maybe a little biased here, but I do notice Mike Hill and Tristan Haynes, they've been kind of locked in together. Now, former teammates, not in the same team tonight, but, you know, I have teammates with both of them. I know they know how to work together really well. So, two drivers really to keep an eye on.
And Blake Roper saying the number 5 is on the move as well. Corey Yoakum up to 7th now.
So I am hearing over driver comms, drivers are coming down this lap. Number 27 of Michael Hill coming down to pit.
Unfortunately, Mike Hill looks like he's going to be all by himself.
Yeah, that is actually very surprising. I was actually expecting the number 9 of Tristan Haynes to at least go with him, but Mike Hill left out to dry. No one went down with him.
We'll go back out to the front of the pack. Daniel Holloway in the Florida Academy car leading this one now.
I think we are definitely in the middle of pit stops here, so it is going to be interesting to see who all comes down together. Good green flag racing here, so if you guys keep it up, they might extend to the end.
Yep, and they do have to be careful. We see Dave Mayberry caught all the way to the outside. So 3-wide racing starting here. Here comes Dawson Price as well.
Also, driver communication in chat now. No one has alerted that they are coming down to pits, but some communication to see where they can find friends here.
Yep,
Dave Mayberry and Dawson Price discussing strategy with each other.
Mayberry and Price, we've seen them work together over an era, and we're going to have Mike Hill drop into the back of the pack. He's a lap car, but can still be a factor here. It looks like Dawson Price linking up with Mike Hill here.
Mike Hill is going to struggle. Since no one came down with him, he might be relying on a caution here.
And Connor Price, I know you're still in the chat, so just a heads up, we're going to go ahead and put the broadcaster curse on you for Sunday. Connor Price going to be getting some extra attention over an era on Sunday night. We'll go back to the front. Brian Macklin getting moved all the way up the track. He's going to get pushed out of the way. Stuck on the high side now. He's going to end up dropping to the back of the pack here. Christian Rhodes now to the lead. And look who he's being pushed by, Hunter. Picklesheimer back up front.
Picklesheimer right back up to the lead, man. I think I'm going to get you to talk about me more during the races I'm in, because you seem to be giving everyone all the luck. You seem to only talk about me when I make a mistake.
It seems like you only make a mistake when I talk about you, Hunter. And 15 or coming down to 14 laps to go now. Still a lot of racing left in this one. And our Vermont diecast pole winner, Al Likens, back up front now. He's pushed by Christian Rose. Christian Rose, though, still on that outside line. Here comes Picklesheimer. And Cranky Salt saying, go Stormy, go. Unfortunately, it's Storm Struby still being listed as out of this one back in 29th. And we see Stephen Alessi coming up, leading that top line now. Those two monster cars working together. I do believe monster cars are teammates. A lot of monster paint schemes out here, Hunter. I think you've created a couple of those at birdwraps.com.
I sure have. In the paint booth in the Discord, they were showing off their monster paints, and I had to throw up my my monster paints in the ring as well. But definitely a cool concept to have everyone matching monster flavors. Really, you can make really cool designs around the monster branding.
Yes, you can. I've been a fan of their energy drinks for probably a little bit too long in my lifetime.
Austin, looking at the chat, it looks like we may become Facebook famous. It looks like a meme was posted on social media. So
I am well aware. I've already seen the meme.
Oh man, I'm gonna wait till after the race to look at this one. I am hearing some drivers coming down to pits.
Oh, here we go. Coming down with
Drivers
12
running
to
out of
go.
fuel.
Storm Strubeck, or I'm sorry, Dylan Picklesheimer leading them down pit road. Tyler Green going back to the lead. And Dalton Gregson saying keep our eye out for the Toy Story schemes made by him. Over there. They'll be coming soon to Bandit Motorsports. We'll be keeping an eye out for that, Dalton.
The rest of the field may be coming down. Oh, trouble.
There's the trouble. There's the trouble.
Caution flag.
Oh, there's going to be some black flags handed out.
Man. A lot of cars stranded there with that caution coming out. That's going to be a trouble for a lot of these drivers.
It looks like it kicked off with Jeremy Davis as that yellow flag waves. Looks like they got 3 wide there. And actually, it looked like the 3 of Jeremy Davis just didn't know where to go there. Connor Price pointed out that the 77 has nose damage.
Yeah, looking back at that, it looks like Tyler Green, number 77, a little bit slow trying to, or at least committing to pit lane. Stayed on that yellow line and kind of checked up the bottom line that existed up there and kind of stacked up the entire field and nowhere to go for the number 3 car.
That's going to shake things up here, especially in that top 10. Yeah, Tyler Green looks like he was getting on pit road just a little bit faster than the 8 of Steven Alessi.
Jeremy Davis going to come down the pits with a good bit of damage because of that incident. Got hard into the outside wall.
Yep, I'm told he's being shown a black flag as well. So race control going to have to get things sorted out. Looks like Jeremy Davis, James Yeager, Thomas Lavierde coming down pit road. Dylan Picklesheimer is going to go back to being the lead car here.
It sounded like you're having some broadcaster's blessing here with not that many laps to go here.
Just a quick update. We've had 21 lead changes tonight. This is our 7th caution. I'm looking like we're going to have about 5 laps left to go when the green flag drops. Update on the weather. Still sitting at 75 degrees. Not too much more of a track change for these drivers as the night has gone on. It looks like race control has gotten it sorted out with the black flags. Definitely some drivers going to be handed a black flag for pitting under a closed pit after that caution flag wave, but they were already in the pit entrance, so race control going to get that one worked out for these guys. It looks like we're still going to have 21 cars left on the lead lap when we go back green flag. And Zach Hansom saying Chase is going to get it done tonight. And Laredo saying this is where Corey Yoakum's going to be able to get it done. Sounds like Laredo's been watching Corey Yoakum for a little bit and talking about how he plans his attacks. So we keep an eye
through the field
on
here, just looking at some of these paint schemes. You know, I am, bias of course coming to mind, but one paint scheme that is taken out for at least me personally is Fred Pennington, number 6 on his car, but being scored as number 22. Has that Bandit paint scheme. As a Trans Am owner myself, I do like that style of paint scheme on these cars. It's definitely not on a Trans Am, but you gotta love the flaming chicken. And if anyone that's familiar with bird wraps, the phoenix is my logo. So anybody wants to know where the inspiration came from, there it is.
Hey, what a way to plug your own business there, Hunter.
That was the goal from the start.
I was wondering where you're going with that, but the lights on the pace car are out. Dylan Picklesheimer will be your leader when the green flag drops. Christian Rhodes to his outside, Daniel Holloway in third, Tristan Haynes in fourth, and Al Likens rounding out your top five. Now, I would like to point out here the front end damage on Dylan Picklesheimer's car. That is going to hurt him aerodynamically. And starting on the front row, he's going to be a little bit slow. He needs to find a car, or needs to get someone in front of him where he can tuck the nose up right underneath their rear end and get the air off that damaged nose.
So what are you thinking, Austin? You still got Picklesheimer?
Ooh, I don't
Even with
know. I don't know with that nose damage. I'm going to keep my eye out here on Al Likens, our Vermont diecast pole winner. Got a lot of speed here. As that pace car heads down pit road, they make their way around to the My World of Whiskey restart zone. Green flag is back out. 7 to go in this one. And Trevor Yates.
Out here.
Yep, Trevor Yates cheering on Alessi Yates Motorsports. And Picklesheimer going to go up to that high line. Connor Price pointing out that his car might get tight here if he gets side drafted. Christian Rhodes tucked up right underneath Dylan Picklesheimer. They've got the run going down the backstretch, but here comes Daniel Holloway in that Florida Academy car on the inside line.
Picklesheimer showing great lane defense once again, moving down in front of him.
It's going to be dangerous, though. With that front end damage, we know he's going to be slower than most of these drivers. Runs the risk of checking these guys up and bringing out yet another caution. Now down to 6 to go in this one.
Yeah, as these laps wind down, a lot more aggression going to be seen through with these drivers. Probably going to be a lot of pushing in the corners. We've seen how that upsets the car. These guys just have to keep a pretty straight head here if they want to make it to the end.
Yep, and we do know how Daytona normally works out for a lot of these drivers at the end. This is when we're going to see the most aggressive driving and probably some of the most aggressive incidents. But Daniel Holloway has gotten his way around Dylan Picklesheimer. He moves up in front of Christian Rhodes. All the way to
Picklesheimer, I think that damage is really slowing him down there. Definitely affecting him a little bit aerodynamically.
Yes, it is. He was not able to get to Daniel Holloway as Daniel Holloway moved down to the bottom. Now he finally does. The 46 of Jeremiah Nelson going to move to that bottom line. It is all Christian Rhodes as they head down the backstretch.
I do have my eye on the number 9 of Tristan Haynes. Like I mentioned before the start of the race, very good road course racer, but also very good super speedway racer as well. So I am not going to count him out of this one.
I tell you what, in the top 10, I don't think we can count anyone out just yet. 4 laps to go.
A lot of shuffling going on. Some free ride. They're in the middle of the pack there. Lots of aggressive moves happening.
Jeremiah Nelson playing defense now. He moves up in front of Daniel Holloway, but that's going to open up the door for Al Likens being pushed by Eric Rodman.
Being pushed in the corner.
Yep. Oh, trouble back in the pack.
Oh, no. Caution is out.
That's going to bring out the caution. It looks like Fred Pennington caught up in this. We'll go back, take a look here.
And do I want to say another broadcaster's curse situation going on there?
It would appear that way. It looks like he just got checked up and caught up by the 30 of, forgive me, still trying to learn the names here, the 30 of Brian Macklin. And James Price pointing out that the 23 can push aggressively coming to the end of this one. But the caution flag's gonna fly here. And if I'm not mistaken, our 8th caution of the night is going to set us up for a green-white checkered finish.
Man. As I'm sure the viewers at home are aware, green, white, checkered at super speedway. There's a lot of times they don't. It's not just one of them. You know, it might be a few, because coming to the white flag, gonna be a lot of aggressive driving, a lot of drivers moving around trying to get into the position to win this race.
Yeah, I think we might get some overtime, but everyone's going to be looking for that Enchanted Oaks white flag, especially Al Likens here. And big shout out to Enchanted Oaks RV Park for coming on as a sponsor. We haven't had a chance to talk about them much tonight, but now seems like the perfect time. If you were looking for the perfect place to park and relax on the Texas coast, make your next stop at Enchanted Oaks RV Park, conveniently located off of Highway 35 bypass in beautiful Rockport, Texas. Just a short drive from local beaches, art museums, shopping, and some of the best coastal attractions the area has to offer. Whether you're staying for a weekend getaway or an extended visit, Enchanted Oaks RV Park offers comfort, convenience, and the perfect place to call home while you explore the coast. Mention Rebel Racing Network in this broadcast or Mike Hill to receive a free gift upon checking in for your visit. So big shout out to Enchanted Oaks. Hope you guys are tuned in out there in Texas.
Speaking of Enchanted Oaks, I had to do another selfish plug here, but Mike Hill's car is designed around their campground tonight. I actually used photographs of the Enchanted Oaks campground to make his scheme. A lot of cool ground they have over there. Just exploring their site, man. I wish I was closer to Texas because I'm a camping guy myself. I definitely pay myself a visit.
All right, I'm a camping guy as well, and a good look there at the Enchanted Oaks car. I think we missed it most of the broadcast, even though we're talking about Mike Hill, but he does get his lap back. I'm going to blame Hunter Geyer for missing pointing that one out, especially since it was designed by BirdWraps.com.
Look, I don't want to plug myself too much throughout the race. There might be some bias, might get the viewers upset picking favorites, but definitely a fun car to design.
All right, and that paint scheme does look awesome. But I'm being told we're going to get the one to go signal this time by. And Jansen Geyer clarifying that Hunter Geyer is not a tent camping guy. He likes to glamp.
I do. So definitely not a tent camper. And honestly, I think the big thing of it is I don't like sleeping on an air mattress. I'm very kind of picky with where I sleep. And if I have a very uncomfortable air mattress, I'm not a happy camper. And then you literally, no pun intended. But, then other noisy camper neighbors. It's so rough in a tent. Give me my four walls on wheels. Any chance I can get.
I understand that. Hunter Geyer, I got a camper for sale if you're looking for a new one.
Man, if I had driveway space, I might consider it. But unfortunately, my driveway looks like a used car parking lot.
So my camper would fit right in is what you're telling me.
Unfortunately, we might have to move Jansen's El Camino out of the way, and then maybe might get it to fit.
I'll take that El Camino off his hands.
Even trade straight up.
Sounds good to me. All right. Those lights on the pace car are out. Al Lyken's going to lead him to the green flag. Jeremiah Nelson to his outside. Eric Rodman in third. Dawson Price in fourth. Daniel Holloway rounding out your top 5 as they come around to the My World of Whiskey restart zone.
Great recovery for Al Likens, getting caught up in that incident earlier with network issues, but he's right back up here up front. You know, we interviewed him, and he's right where he said he was going to be.
Yep, that green flag is out. 2 to go. Green-white checkered finish. Al Lyken getting overextended, though. Not sure how this is going to work out for him. Top line's going to get to him, but Eric Rodman had a run on the low line. There goes Al to the bottom. Oh, trouble back in the pack.
Big wreck behind him. Big wreck.
And they're going to have to wait just a little while longer to see that Enchanted Oaks RV Park white flag.
Dawson Price involved in this one.
Yep, we're still waiting for the scoring to update on our software. And we'll go back, take a look at it here. Watching from the restart, Dawson Price said he was caught up. He restarted there in fourth.
It looks like a bad push from the bottom lane. Shut the number 21 car, Daniel Holloway, back right up into the side of Dawson Price. Got him way out of shape.
Yep, and we're watching from the green flag here on the broadcast. Looks like Eric Rodman kind of got him checked up, and you know, he already had him checked up. They were just getting going when they caught Al Lyken. And that's going to bring out our 9th caution of the night. And Jeremiah Nelson now being scored as the leader. Al Likens in second. Eric Rodman in third. Corey Yoakum restarting fourth. I think a couple people had Corey Yoakum winning this one up in the chat. Daniel Holloway will restart fifth. Dylan Picklesheimer in sixth. Tristan Haynes in seventh. Christian Rose in eighth. Tyler Hurt's going to restart ninth. Michael Prince in 10th. And update here, Corey Yoakum has to come down pit lane. He is going to be short on fuel with this overtime. And not sure if Corey Yoakum was short on fuel or he's going to be if we get some more overtime. Might be thinking ahead here, trying to get the track position. Not expecting to get the Enchanted Oaks RV Park white flag on this restart either. Zach Handsome up in the chat cheering on Corey.
I'm not sure if that is fuel or a damage issue because he was caught up in that last incident. Number 5, Corey Yoakum.
And look at him. He's already off a pit road. Looks like a 36-second stop for him. So definitely some damage he's trying to get worked out here. We'll have to wait and see here. But looking at the pit laps for most of these guys, everyone should be good to go on fuel, even with a few of these overtime restarts.
Austin, do you have info on how many chances we do have of the green-white checkered?
I do not. I'm going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and take a quick commercial break and get you that info, though.
It's race day on iRacing. The grid is set. Engines are rumbling. The chat is buzzing. The anticipation is building. But before the green flag waves, you need a moment that gets hearts racing. Hoorah Flyovers delivers cinematic, custom airplane flyovers for your iRacing or esports event, bringing real-world energy to your virtual track. Add a patriotic punch to your pre-race show, whether you're hosting a league championship, a memorial race, or just want to hype the crowd. Hoorah brings the thunder. Fully customizable, easy to book, stream ready, guaranteed to get your drivers and fans fired up. Because when the jets fly, everyone pays attention. Stand tall, fly loud, race proud. Hoorah! Visit Hoorah Flyovers on Discord or Facebook and bring the flyover experience to iRacing like never before.
All right, and we are back, folks, getting ready to go green flag racing. They are doubled up. We did get the information on the green-white checkered restarts. This is the second attempt at green-white checkered of the 3 that are planned here tonight.
Got it. Still a lot of time for some action here.
Yes,
Give
there
this one a
is.
go.
And the lights on that Ford Mustang pace car are out.
Al Likens, I think, he's definitely a strong contender for this one. Showed really good lane defense. If he can keep it together, I think he has a really good chance.
And Connor Price saying with the 23, there's definitely going to be another caution. I don't know. He does have that front end damage. He's going to be a good pusher, but he's been hanging around up front all night long, and I know he wants this win. But Al Likens, our Vermont diecast pole sitter, not going to want to give it up, especially being caught up in an incident earlier on in this one and driving all the way back to the front. But the pace car is off, and they're going to come around to the My World of Whiskey restart zone. Green flag is out. Jeremiah Nelson getting the jump here. Oh, trouble already back in the pack.
Oh, man. And we try it again for our final try.
Looks like Christian Rhodes caught up in this. Christian Rhodes in that one machine.
There's just a lot of stacking up on this one.
Yeah, I think they...
The bottom line...
I don't think Al Likens was ready to go when that green flag dropped. Maybe missing a gear there and stacking them up. We will ride along on the hood of Christian Rhodes' car through this one.
So number 31 taking fault for that one. And it's actually his second fault of the night. We got over here in driver comms and race control. He's actually going to get a drive-through penalty due to the second at-fault wreck of the night.
That's Michael Prince claiming the at-fault there. We go to his ride-along cam, and I don't know if there was a big checkup there. It looks like he just ended up getting a little bit better start. Yep, he had the run. Looked like he was going to go ahead and bump draft Christian Rhodes, and instead moves up the track and ends up turning him. And now we're seeing a lot of takers on pit road here. So splash and go fuel for these drivers. That's going to shake up the front of this pack. Jeremiah Nelson still your leader, though. Al Likens restarting second. Eric Rodeman in third. Dylan Picklesheimer in fourth. Mike Hill in fifth. Tyler Hertz going to restart sixth. Trevor Quisenberry in seventh. James Yerger going to restart eighth. Eric L'Oreal in ninth. And Christian Rhodes rounding out your top 10.
I know we did talk about a little bit. You know, Mike Hill went down to pits by himself during those green flag runs. Did not have any help. Was put himself a lap down, but now he finds himself back in the 5th position, and he's actually, according to my data sheet, he's being scored as the fastest lap holder. So he might have that 20% discount off of bird wraps.
All right, I'm sure the folks at Wicked Pub might not be happy to see that. I know they wanted a Bird Wraps paint scheme and their free drink, but looks like Enchanted Oak's going to be getting another new paint scheme here tonight. Only 2 laps left in this one, and another quick update. I just saw 64 live viewers on stream. We really appreciate it, guys, and you know, that's the second time I think we've set a record here tonight for the most live views. So thank you, guys. And Prime in the chat saying their number 3 Chevy was great all night. They were able to work towards the front multiple times, but played it safe. Never would have thought a car would slam on the brakes trying to pit and take him out.
And Jeremy Davis, yeah. Sorry to hear that, Jeremy. Yeah, I can definitely tell your frustration with that one. I know from a broadcaster standpoint, not too sure what really happened there. You know, Tyler Green, he kind of didn't commit going down to the pits and really had nowhere to go. We're really sorry for you about that one, man.
Yep, it does sound like there is a little bit of frustration here. So maybe some rivalries brewing already in week 1 of the season.
I very well could see it, you know. But I will say, with super speedways, you know, anything can happen. You kind of have to rely on everyone around you to not make mistakes, and you know, it's so tough to do because packs are so close together, just so tough. So hopefully these guys don't take anything to heart.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this is the beast of super speedway racing, especially here on iRacing. So Jeremiah Nelson going to choose the top line yet again for the restart.
Yeah, Jeremy, definitely look forward to seeing you up front. Do like that Dale Earnhardt Senior paint scheme you got running. Very beautiful car. Hope to see you strong as heck next week.
All right, and the lights are out.
It'll be our final attempt at a green-white checkered. Next flag will end it.
Yes, it will, as they make their way around the track off of turn 4. That pace car is going to dive down, and Jeremy Nelson going to lead them to the My World of Whiskey restart zone. And keep in mind, Michael Prince still does have to serve that drive-through penalty here under green flag conditions. Green flag is out neck and neck as they go down into turn 1. Now we've got
3 wide racing.
Yep, 3 wide racing here. No one. Oh, now.
Wow.
Someone going to join him up there.
Lots of guys trying to make a move for the win here.
Yep. That top line getting some momentum coming down the backstretch. Right now, it's Jeremiah Nelson out in front.
It's going to get real sketchy going into the corner here with these guys 3 wide. Daytona is a wide track, but there's not that too much of room.
It's not Talladega wide. That bottom line getting the momentum through the corner. Eric Rodeman pushing Al Likens.
Oh, behind him. Caution, I think that might have ended it.
That is going to end it. They're not going to see the Enchanted Oaks RV Park white flag here tonight. It's going to wave alongside the yellow. Is Eric L'Oreal going to go around here? And Al Likens going to take home the win. Eric Rodman coming home second, and Mike Hill coming home third tonight.
Man, Mike Hill in top 3. That's awesome.
I know Steph Hill is about to be going nuts in the chat here. My World of Whiskey got to be excited because they know their name is going to get called a couple more times. I think Mike Hill might be out of gas.
Oh, no.
Saw him jump into the front there. And they will take the checkered flag under yellow flag conditions.
Looking back at that wreck, unfortunately, that 3 wide racing did not work there in the middle of the pack. Pushing out of the corner and very difficult to keep the car straight. But what a crazy inaugural race for these guys. It's been really awesome to watch, awesome to broadcast. I had to, to just really say how awesome, this league has been, and, just starting out, a lot of good things going for them. I can't wait for the rest of the season.
Yeah, put on a great show here. Keeping us on the edge of our seats, and, looks like the viewers enjoyed it as well. We hope our sponsors at Vermont Diecast, Enchanted Oaks RV Park, Florida Academy, My World of Whiskey, and Texas Roadhouse enjoyed the show as well. But definitely a lot of great racing coming up this season. We see the fireworks there on the back stretch as we wait for these guys to make their way around, and Al Likens going to start the celebration here.
Like I mentioned earlier, what a recovery from him, having those network issues. I'm sure the folks over at Wicked Pub, not too happy, because I think that is one of the issues that caused their driver to, or at least run into issues. So there might be some type of rivalry there. I'm sure, Al didn't mean anything by it, but that's where the bad luck for number 4 started tonight.
And I got to say, I think, the number 4, Corey Rainey, that might have been the broadcaster's curse. We were definitely talking a lot about him, hoping you guys get your free drinks over there at the Wicked Pub. And the top 3 going to go to the start and finish line for their pictures as the rest of the field makes their way down pit road. And Al Liken gonna start the celebration. I gotta say, I do like the Tony Stewart throwback scheme on that car as well.
Absolutely, great looking scheme. I like his burning it down in awesome fashion. He had a great race tonight. Other than that little mishap, man, he was strong all night. Had the Vermont Diecast Pole Award, so he's ended it right where he started.
Yep, it looks like we're going to get to shout out pretty much every one of our sponsors here in these post-race interviews. So excited about that.
Absolutely.
And a lot of congratulations coming in the chat as well. Major Blaz. Giving us kudos up here, Hunter, saying great job in the booth, cheering on Eric Rodman, Critical, shouting out Al Likens, and Wesley Culper cheering on Mike Hill. As they line up, we're going to go ahead and kick off our post-race interviews. We'll start with that third place driver, Mike Hill. And Mike, it's Austin and Hunter up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Welcome back to the booth. We missed you up here. Congratulations on a podium finish to kick off the season.
Hey, thanks, man. I missed y'all. It's been a crazy race, but yeah, I'm just thankful to be up here.
I'll tell you what, I've been broadcasting you for a while. Hunter Geyer's been racing with you for a while, so trying to stay unbiased, but definitely a fan up here in the booth. After working together so much, you had a heck of a night. I want to go back to your last pit stop, though. Take us through your thoughts on that pit strategy coming down under green flag conditions.
So I had myself a live spotter, Wesley Carter. Shout out to Wesley. My brain couldn't have come up with that all on its own, but we got on a different strategy because I got spun around and I was, one of the cautions I got hung up in. So I needed tires. I went in, got those cleaned up, and that put me just all the way off on strategy, in my opinion. But Wesley was really confident in the lap count and where we were on track and how it was all going to shake out with, the data I was giving him from the dashboard on how much fuel I had left. So when we started getting these green, white checkers, I started watching my lap count go down and go, oh man, I don't have enough to make it. But right there towards the end, we just kind of cycled forward and stayed with it, stuck with it. Wes was in my ear the whole race telling me, just stay here, go there. This line's moving. But as far as pits go, I was just doing whatever he told me to, and thank God for Wesley Carter.
All right, it could have easily went the other way because we caught you coming down pit road, and it had to feel pretty lonely on pit road here at a drafting track coming down all by yourself. What were your thoughts when you looked up in the rear view and no one else went with you?
I knew it was going to be tough, but just stay clean and be there at the end because I knew there was going to be cautions. There just has to be. And the dice fell where they were gonna. We had a few, and but if I didn't pit there, I had 1.1 laps to go when I came in, so there was no way I was going to make it back around. And we had guys running out there at the end, so it's been tight all night on fuel. We were running it down to the half lap.
All right, well, it worked out. We're going to let you get on out of here and start looking forward to next week. Before we do, though, anyone you want to thank?
Absolutely. First, I want to thank Viscera and Tyler and everybody involved in the admin team here for putting this together. This is a phenomenal field, very competitive, very mature. I'm loving it so far. Sponsors, birdwraps.com. Use code MKD27 for 10% off your very own custom paint job. Enchanted Oaks RV Park. Mention the broadcast or my personal stream to receive a free gift on check-in. I ran their paint tonight. They sponsored the last lap for Viscera. I want to thank Wesley Carter for crew chiefing and spotting for me tonight. Fans on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, everybody there that follows me, supports the likes and shares. You and Hunter for putting these amazing broadcasts together. They are top notch, best in the business. Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, my wife. She keeps me hydrated during the race. She checks on me, watches every stream. She's my biggest fan. And yeah, that's about it.
Gotta say, Mike, sorry, Austin, but I do have to say just, congratulations, man. I'm real proud of you. You ran a heck of a race there tonight.
Thanks so much, man. It means a ton.
And Hunter, I do believe you have some other news for Mike before he does get on out of here as well. Trying to look through some of the stats here, but I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, Mike. So You actually got fastest lap of the race, so you get to enjoy 20% off Bird Wrap scheme. But since I spot
Awesome.
you might just get that one for free. So we'll have to talk about that. But you're also biggest mover of the night, up 28 positions.
Hell yeah. Thank y'all so much. That's I had no idea until just now. So chit chat, door to door. We're here to get a championship this year.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, Mike, and we will see you back here next week, buddy.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
All right. Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, and once again, that was Mike Hill taking home the win here, or taking home third place here tonight. We're going to move on to our second place finisher, Eric Rodeman. And Eric, it is Hunter and Austin up in the booth. You got us?
Hey, I got a copy, Austin Hunter. What's going on?
What is going on, man? Congratulations on the second place finish in the season opener. How does it feel?
It feels really good. We had a race in another league on Monday. I got to mention that I was running in second, going for the win, and got in a wreck right before the start to finish up at Talladega. So it kind of had a bad taste in my mouth. Wanted to come out here and get another good finish under my belt, and got lucky. Ran into some trouble late in the race. I killed Tyler Hurt in pit lane. Tyler Hurt, if you're listening, I'm so sorry for smacking you going into the pits. It was an awful pit. So I had to take an EOL, and that really hurt my position. I dropped down to like 21st and had to work my way back. Restart happened, and we lost the draft, 4 or 5 of us back there, and we were just praying for a caution. We got about 10 laps to go. We all pitted back there, and then the caution came out right after I left the pits. Got lucky, worked my way back up to the front, and just kind of stayed there with all the white checkers. And I was very lucky to be where I was, but we'll take it.
All right. Well, sounds like you had a lot of ups and downs this race. We were watching you at the beginning, and kind of lost track at you as we got towards the middle of the race, and surprised me up at the booth. I don't know if Hunter can say the same. Moving up to second, what was going through your mind when that caution came out right after you guys came down pit road?
Yeah, so I had qualified pretty good for me. I was in the top 10 for qualifying, and I had Corey Rainey, teammate, and Daniel Holloway up there. Both qualified very well today. And our strategy was to ride together, get some stage points if we could. But, when those stages were happening, we were 3 wide. It was getting really aggressive. So I know Daniel backed out and a wreck happened. I think it got caught up in something. It was just trying to dodge the wrecks and keep a clean car with no fast repair. Your strategy and mindset really changes in these races. You have no safety net. So there was a couple times in that race we had some awesome 3-wide racing, and I was stuck in the middle, holding on for dear life, not trying to hit anybody low or high, and thank God I didn't. And there was one instance when the winner, Al Likens, man, I pushed him in the corner bad. He went up, almost killed him. He saved it. Thank God, and he got the win. I would have felt so bad if I destroyed him. But yeah, it was good pit strategy. We were running it dry right to the end, and just praying that we would get a caution when we lost that draft. But the car was good. I want to thank Dalton Gregson for giving me a chance to run on his team. He is such a great motivator, a painter, a fan of the game, broadcaster. He can do it all. We got to get him back in the car and back on the track. That's for sure.
Yes, we do, but we're going to let you get on out of here and start looking forward to next week. Before we do, though, anyone else you want to shout out?
Yeah, my sponsor, My World of Whiskey. My buddy's been doing this website and app for a while now. It is an awesome place to go track your bourbon whiskey collection, and go find it in stores. So I want to thank My World of Whiskey. We were proud to run the My World of Whiskey paint scheme. And all the other sponsors that we have going here, Florida Academy, Enchanted Oaks, Hunter, and Bird Wraps here for great paint schemes. Just all the sponsors have been great. And Tyler Green for starting up this league. We got some really awesome drivers here, and I'm looking forward to where the season goes. And thank you, Austin. Thank you guys for broadcasting this, and we'll keep putting on a show every week if we can.
All right. Well, and we will be here broadcasting every week And we do appreciate it, sir. We'll let you get on out of here. Congratulations again.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night. See you again soon.
Thank you. You too. All right, once again, that was Eric Rodman coming home second. We're going to move on to our race winner, though, Al Likens. Al, it's Hunter and Austin up in the booth. You got us?
I got you.
All right, welcome back. A lot happier circumstances being in the booth this time, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, so we did talk to you already about that caution you were caught up in with Corey Rainey in the 4 car, and we were a little bit worried about your the damage you would have taken from that, but you were able to race back up to the front and take a win away, and you dominated, it seems like, the latter half of this race. Take us through battling back through the pack.
It wasn't easy by any means. Once you get back there, it's just hard to maneuver. And I got some teammates. Once I got up to them, we was able to work to the front, kind of maintain their position. But it was definitely not easy. It's hard racing among the whole field.
All right, and definitely looked at hard racing. Now, I do got to go back and ask about that incident. You know, things were still kind of still trying to get things sorted out when we talked to you earlier. Did you get a chance to speak with Corey Rainey after that incident earlier on in this one?
No, I have not. You know, I'll sell him an apology. It wasn't by my doings, but, you know, just had some internet issues, and I do apologize to him, that whoever got involved in that, because that's not my intent. That ain't how I race, and it just happened, and I do apologize.
All right. Well, we're glad to hear it. And, you know, so we've been watching the chat here tonight. And I think you do owe some people at the Wicked Pub in Fort Myers, Florida, an apology as well. They were counting on him to try and get a stage win so they could all get a free round of drinks. Yeah, just to let you know on that, you might want to be careful what bar you go to if you're ever in Fort Myers.
Definitely keep that in mind for sure.
You might be buying around there. But congratulations again. Now take us through that last restart. We saw you battling it out with Jeremiah Nelson. Nelson was the leader, choosing the top line, knowing the momentum's there. Take us through that battle with him.
Honestly, I couldn't got the win without the 96. You know, obviously give me a good push on the bottom, then the top kind of stalled out. But, you know, I was trying to work with Nelson. He's obviously a teammate, slightly dangerous racing, and Dylan. So we was trying to maneuver. We could be 1, 2, 3, but, you know, obviously it didn't work out. But I owe all the credit to the 96. It wasn't him. It was not possible.
All right. Well, guess you got to buy him a beer too, but we're going to let you get on out of here and continue that celebration. Before we do, though, anyone else you want to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Slightly Dangerous Racing, all my teammates there, Fred Penton. Without him, this wouldn't be possible. And then TriStar, and the Virtual Immersive Sim Racing Association, and the Red Bull Racing Network. I'd like to thank you all.
All right. We appreciate it, buddy, and we will see you back here next week. Congratulations again.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, sir. And once again, that was race winner Al Likens taking home the win in the season opener for the Florida Academy Cup Series. We're going to go ahead and let Hunter Geyer run through our official results. Hunter, you got them pulled up on screen?
I sure do.
All right.
I'll try my best not to butcher these names. So I see with a little bit of payback for the beginning of the race, but see what I can do. So, of course, your winner, Al Likens. Coming in second, Eric Rodman. Third, Mike Hill. Number 4, the 24, Trevor Quisenberry. Number 5, the 19 of James Yerger. Number 4, in 6th place, number 46 is Jeremiah Nelson. 7th place, the number 1 of Christian Rhodes. Finishing in 8th is number 23, Dylan Picklesheimer. Finishing in 9th is the number 9 of Tristan Haynes. Finishing in 10th is number 18 of Tyler Hurt. Finishing 11th is the number 29 of Dave Mayberry. Finishing 12th will be the number 77 of Tyler Green. Finishing 13th will be the number 8 of Stephen Alessi. Finishing 14th will be number 5 of Corey Yoakum. Finishing 15th will be the number 21 of Daniel Holloway. Finishing 16th will be the 71 of Dawson Price. Finishing 17th will be the 33 of Richard Smith II. And finishing 18th will be number 30 of Brian Macklin. And unfortunately, this mine cuts off, so Austin, you might have to continue from there.
All right, I'll take over. And coming home 19th was Michael Prince. Eric L'Oreal will finish 20th. Joshua Riddle in 21st. Thomas Lavierde finishes 22nd. Fred Pennington will finish 23rd. Nicholas Warner comes home in 24th. Jeremiah Davis will finish 25th. Jason Werbeskis finishes 26th. Matthew Wilson will come home 27th. Corey Rainey in 28th. 29th was Storm Struby. I think I'm saying that right now. Alan Hess will finish 30th tonight. Dalton Gibson comes home 31st, and rounding out your field in 32nd is Seth LaCroix. Unfortunately, 90 laps down, not the race he was looking for tonight. But I'd like to thank everyone for tuning into the Rebel Racing Network and the Florida Academy Cup Series. I would like to thank all our sponsors for putting in the money to make all of this possible and put on a great show with some great drivers. And once again, thank you, Hunter, for helping us out in the booth. And thank you to the drivers for putting on a great show. Make sure you hit that like, follow, and subscribe button because we're going to be back live Sunday evening with the Era Cup Series live from New Hampshire, and their chase is getting underway. Then we will have the TCR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series live next Wednesday at 8:30, and then next Thursday, right back here on the Rebel Racing Network, we will have the Florida Academy Cup Series live from Auto Club Speedway. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you back here on Sunday.